Okay, ladies, so now we're going to talk about your stance. So as you get in the stance and as you're practicing at home, one of the things that you could do is you could actually take a broom handle, which I've done here, and use this as part of lining it up and understanding your stance. So when you come in the stance, and I'm going to have Tony demonstrate, I want you to come in and to get into a 50-50 stance, right? I want your feet and your knees to be equal, like as if you're going after a basketball, right? And as you're going after the basketball, both knees, in this case for Tony, are inside of her feet. What I don't want to see is you moving back on the back leg. A lot of you will stop back, and you'll come back and you'll see that she's back on her back leg as she's getting ready to go into her load, and that's not going to be good. I want you to be center here. Now your eyes, your nose, and your mouth are going to be looking at the pitcher, so they're going to be to the side of your belly button. If you're playing basketball, your eyes and nose would be right over the belly button looking straight at the player from the other side. But here you're looking at the pitcher, so your eyes and nose and mouth are going to be this side, and you're especially going to have your dominant eye. So if you're right-handed, most likely it's your right eye. Left-handed, it's a good chance it's your left eye. That eye is looking straight at the pitcher, okay? The other part, your feet. You want your feet to be about shoulder width apart so that you're comfortable. You can do a shorter stance and you can do a wider stance, but that changes your stride, which we'll get into a lot more in the next video. But you want to get them so that your feet are about shoulder width apart so that when you take that first step for your stride, they're there. Now, we don't want you to do this as much, but some of you are already doing it, so I'm going to cover it, and that is an open stance. Some of you are starting on the back where this foot is back a little bit, and that gives you a slightly better view of the pitcher. And that's okay, but when you take your stride, what has to happen is that foot has to come back up and it needs to be parallel with your back foot, right? If you don't do that, what ends up happening is you end up pulling your shoulder back quicker, and you're going to pull the ball to the left, or if you're left-handed, to pull the ball to the right much faster. And we don't want to see you pulling the ball. We want you to put that ball line drive down between third and first base and not down one of the lines. So the other part is when you're getting into your load, which we'll cover in a second, what'll end up happening is the right shoulder is going to be slightly higher than the left shoulder, and then we'll go through the drills of how to cover those different pieces. All right, the other part that you can see is if I take my broomstick, you can see that if you're in a good stance, you're going to have what's called the K posture. I should be able to draw a line from the shoulder down to Tony's knee, and you've got a straight line. The other part of your K is coming from this shoulder down to her belly button and then back over to her knee, and that forms the K. If you lean back on the right leg, all of a sudden the K is not a straight line. If you're in a good 50-50 stance, then you're going to be back and you'll have a straight K so that as you get forward into your stride and go forward in your swing. All right, so we'll get next to going through your load and show you how to load and how you're going to start heading toward that stride and getting into your separation.